So over here, I have an example of what a compound interest equation would look like. So we have A equals P times 1 plus R over N, and then that would be to the power of N times T. Now this right here represents our total amount that we get at the end. P right here represents the principal, which is our original amount that was in the account or the bank at first. And this number right here represents our interest rate. So if we had like 25%, that would turn into 0.25. And so that would, the decimal form of that number would go into R. N, that represents the number of times compounded each year. So let's say we hit 3, that would be triannually. So that would be like 3 times in 1 year. And that's what that number means, is how many times in your time frame do you pay it. And then T represents like your years or the amount of time that you have. So let's look at an example kind of put together with 15 years. So we want to know how much money is in our account if we start off by putting $10 in our account first. So we deposit $10 at the bank, and then we plug in our equation. So we have our 10, and then we have our 1 plus, and then our rate was 25% for this example. So I changed it into 0.25 because we need to change it into decimal form for our interest rate. And we are going to pay it biannually. So I'm going to pay it 2 times each year, put some money in 2 times each year. And so this number is going to go both here and here. And then our time frame is 15 years. So that is going to go right there. So we know 15 times 2, that's going to be 30. So now we have to the power of 30 up here because we did our 2 times 15. And then what I did is I started solving. So 0.25 divided by 2, that's going to be 0.125. And so our next step is to add what's in the parentheses together. So now we're going to have 10 times 1.125 to the power of 30, and that is going to equal our dollar amount. So then what we can do is we can multiply the 10 times 1.125, which is going to be 11.25 to the power of 30. And that is going to be 3.424 to the power of 1031. And I realized that I messed up in this part of the equation because in my calculations I think I did 25 instead of 0.25. So what this would be is this would actually be moved over 1, 2 right there. So the answer would be $342.43 in our account. If we start off with $10, after 15 years with a 25% rate, then we'll end up with this amount of money after 15 years, $342 and about 43 cents.